The woman was tricked into going on a blind date by her mother during her lunch break. I didn't expect to sit down for a long time. Just bumped into it. The company has a notoriously cold immediate boss. He had thought that such a stern man. They don't care about their personal lives. I just got back to the company. He was racing against the clock. Word of the blind date spread throughout the office. Everyone is talking behind his back that he hates marriage. Ji-yoon has been working in an electronics company for 7 years. Already numb by the fiery workplace life. She also wanted to change her lifestyle. Open a new stage in life, so the cake is carefully prepared, planning to propose to her long-term boyfriend. I didn't expect my boyfriend to stand up to her directly, for the so-called musical dream, run away in pursuit of freedom. For 8 months, the man never came back, never contacted him. All the information sent by Ji-yoon sank into the sea, not a word of explanation. But life doesn't stop because of a breakup. Ji-yoon can only cheer up and continue to work. In this age where everyone is enslaved by work, if you are not feeling well, you need to go to work. Family passed away to go to work. Even if you meet a bad person who wipes oil on the morning rush hour, still have to go to work on time. Torrential rain flooded the road into a river. Office workers holding umbrellas, struggling through waist-deep water, as if it was not the company that went there. It's workplace hell. Ji-yoon is also one of them. He was disappointed and hopeless about the future. I even have a faint premonition that sooner or later, one day, burnout is out of control. This morning, Ji-yoon is having breakfast near the company. A scary gossip suddenly went viral in the work group. The legendary workaholic Sambuo Jeong-shiyu, about to be transferred back to the headquarters from the US branch. The so-called 3 no's. Just don't smile, don't get close, don't apologize. Although Jeong-shiyu has a reputation for being ruthless, but his work ability is also top-notch. Rumor has it that as long as the project team he leads, the project success rate can reach almost 100%, is a famous legend in the company. Ji-yoon finished listening. Just feel. This is just another gossip in the workplace. After all, I won't have any interaction with it. But he didn't expect. Trouble soon found its way to the door. Came to the office early in the morning. Ji-yoon saw that the department manager was furious. The new refrigerator promoted by the original company. There was a major accident during the pilot run. The transparency of ice cubes is never up to standard. To pass the buck, crafty high manager. Immediately throw the hot potato to Ziyuan. Let him go to the factory to control the situation. Resume production. He even offered to put him in a helicopter. After Ji-yoon arrived at the factory, first-hand drinks to the people in charge of both parties to reduce the fire. In line with the principle of no offense on both sides, it is recommended to continue the pilot run first, follow up and gradually improve. A sudden voice interrupted his arrangement, facing questions from men. Ji-yoon explains that if the listing is delayed, it is likely that competitors will seize the market. Men don't agree with this statement. Rebut Ji-yoon every sentence. Ji-yoon was a little impatient, directly accused the other party of being idealistic, and he didn't even know him. There's no need to waste time with him. Then sure you went to visit the factory. The R&D department and the factory head are still arguing. Should we continue production or improve it first? Just when the stalemate, Ji-yoon suddenly proposed a compromise. You can temporarily replace ice cubes with transparent ice picks. Wait until the problem is completely solved before resuming normal production. In fact, he had already thought of this plan. But every time I get a good idea, will always be plagiarized, become a leader's credit. So he has long been used to hiding his strength. Chang's helicopter. Shiryu and Jiyu returned to the company together. The helicopter suddenly bumped on the way. Jiyu was so frightened that he directly lay on Shiryu's legs and shivered. Wait until the flight returns to normal. He got up awkwardly. I can't wait to jump out of the air on the spot. After returning to the company, manager Gao scolded Jiyu, because although his plan resolved the dispute, but let the production line continue to be suspended. Jiyun was not affected at all. After returning to the station, set the off-duty alarm as usual. When the time is up, he immediately packed his things and left. Therefore, his colleagues privately called him the off-duty fairy. After work, Jiyun drinks beer and eats fried chicken at home. In the simplest way, healing the energy expended by work. A good friend advised him to fall in love. Change this boring life. But this sentence reminds Jiyun of his ex-boyfriend, shaking his head again and again. A new day. Jiyun continues to work hard for a living. But what he didn't expect was the legendary three-step man Shiyu. He actually became the leader of the second product planning team. And in the same office area as their group. Sure, you just took office. I rejected the welcome dinner proposed by the team members. Ask everyone to send an email. Non-work content is exempt from discussion. Jiyu and his friends gloated at the experience of the second group. Fortunately, Shiryu is not the leader of their group. Lunch break. Jiyun suddenly received a call from her mother. I learned that my mother was waiting for him at a restaurant near the company. He hurried over. I didn't expect that it wasn't my mother who was waiting for me. It's a blind date arranged by my mother. Ji-yoon. Then I realized that I had been deceived, but due to politeness, just bite the bullet and sit down and eat with each other. Just then, he saw Shiryu, who also came to eat. When Shiryu left, she smiled casually at him. Ji-yoon clearly saw something in that smile. I can tempt Ji-yoon and feel that it is not good to feel big. So he went back to the company. Everyone started asking about the blind date, even teased him if he was in a hurry to get married. Ji-yoon only knew. The news of his blind date has spread on the company's internet. His first reaction was the news spread by Shiryu. Angrily ran to him to settle the bill. Shiryu didn't bother to explain at all. Just tell him indifferently. I have no interest in other people's private lives. It won't be boring to spread everywhere. Only then did Ji-yoon realize that he was wrong about him. The person who actually saw him on a blind date. It should be other colleagues in the company. The next day, Manager Gao reported to the top management. New refrigerator pilot run solution. Ji-yoon sat down in shock. Found that the high manager used. It turned out to be the ice pick plan I proposed. And he was so angry that he deliberately malfunctioned the slideshow. Let the unassisted senior manager stumble in public. It's almost impossible. Shiryu also saw that this idea really came from Ji-yoon. To fight against shameless plagiarism program of high managers. He asked several professional questions in a row to attack the other party. Take advantage of the situation to give Ji-yoon a chance. Let him explain in detail. But Ji-yoon hesitated for a moment. Finally refused this opportunity to stand out in front of the top. After the meeting, Shiryu asked him, puzzled why he was timid and retreated. Ji-yoon just answered calmly. Showcase in this company. Not necessarily a good thing. Soon, my colleague will ask Ji-yoon. Collect from Shiryu the wedding gift of the design manager. But Shiryu didn't want to attend the wedding. Ji-yoon believes that everyone is a colleague of the same company. It's so inhumane for the other party to do this. After Shiryu finished speaking, he got off at the station. Ji-yoon covered his mouth on the spot and exclaimed. It turned out that Shiryu was the ex-husband of the design manager. After attending the wedding, the more Ji-yoon thinks about it, the more she feels. Yesterday, Shiryu was asked to attend the wedding. A little rude indeed. So I took the initiative to send him a message to apologize. Unexpectedly, Shiryu actually proposed to meet for a drink. The two went to the bar opened by Shiryu's friend together. Ji-yoon's surprising discovery. After leaving the company, the rumored and heartless young Shiryu. It turned out to be gentle and reliable. Nothing like daytime. The three-step man who dares to approach. Halfway through the rain, I went out to answer the phone. When I come back, I found that Ji-yoon had been drunk and lying unconscious on the table. Friends can't wake him up. Shiryu had to say aloud that she was late for work. The next second, the dazed Ji-yoon suddenly raised his head. I was so scared that I thought I was really going to be late. After leaving the bar, two people walked down the street at night. Ji-yoon, who was on the wine taste, finally let down his guard. Started complaining about the oppressive company. Just 3 years before joining the job, he was also full of ambition. Staying up late and working overtime is commonplace. Work until the 5th year. He has to deal with the job left by his boss. I have to clean up the mess for my subordinates again. I always feel like I just have to stop. The company will collapse. Until later, he fell ill from overwork. Just suddenly realized, even without him, the company is still operating as usual. Turns out he's not irreplaceable at all. It's just a part that can be replaced at any time. And that's why, since then, he just started leaving on time. Became the off-duty fairy in everyone's mouth. Under the influence of alcohol, Ji-yoon's feet softened and he almost fell. Shiryu is quick-witted. Hug him. The ambiguous atmosphere slowly heats up in the night. Shiryu looked down at Ji-yuan in her arms. Ask him softly if he is free tomorrow. If you are free, they can make another appointment. Lustful woman. After getting drunk, I almost brought my notorious boss home. In a dream, a man and a woman are alone in the same room. He even boldly threw Shiryu onto the sofa. Can wait to wake up. I just found out that everything is just a beautiful spring dream. Ji-yoon, who woke up, suddenly remembered what happened last night. Fortunately, do you want to go to my house for a drink? In the end, he swallowed it back forcefully. In a hurry, he changed his mind and said he wanted to ask Shiryu to go for a ride, but it was too late. After saying that, Shiryu was not given a chance to react at all. Turn around and run. And I went home. The more he thought about it, the more ashamed he became. The next morning, he came to the convenience store in his pajamas and slippers to buy snacks. As a result, I met Shiryu again, and he saw himself looking sloppy. Ji-yoon can't wait to disappear on the spot. To ease the embarrassment, he quickly took out a bag of snacks and handed it over. Shiryu took the snacks. Look at him in his pajamas without makeup. Suddenly feel a little cute. Think of this. He couldn't help but run outside the convenience store and laugh. When Ji-yoon came out, I happened to see Shiryu laughing so hard that his shoulders were shaking. He realized that. It turns out that this man who always has a cold face can also laugh. But I haven't waited for him to recover. A passing childhood child complained. He was wearing the same underwear as his father.
이거 태국에서 산 실크 팬츠거든?
The air solidifies instantly. Seeing Shizuyu laugh out again, Ji-yen can't wait to find a crack in the ground to get in. Work the next day. Ji-yen decided to completely go around Shiyu, but it backfired. There are so many empty seats at lunchtime. Shiryu sat next to him. Ji-yen just picked up the plate. Shiryu's eyes fell on his bowl. Hills of beef. And he reminded him seriously. Unbalanced nutrition. And drinking too much instant coffee can also affect your health. Ji-yen felt uncomfortable listening. Friends meet awkward atmosphere. Quickly change the topic. When it rains, why do you only eat vegetables and not eat? Shiryu replied very seriously. Because he doesn't want to have a belly. This sentence instantly reminds Ji-yen of, I almost fell that night. The picture of the pants buckle breaking open when being held by Shiryu. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that Shiryu was expressing himself. Just then, Shiryu also offered to invite everyone to drink coffee after dinner. Ji-yen can't stay any longer. Find an excuse to run away. After leaving the restaurant, he went to buy coffee with his colleague Xiaoya. Who knows the coffee hasn't arrived yet. Shiryu appeared again. Not only did you buy the order for him, and offered to talk to him alone. 2 days of shooting to death. Let Ji-yen have no courage to face him at all, so he chose to run away again. Xiaoya quickly realized that something was wrong. While the two were drinking coffee in the stairwell, Xiaoya asked with a gossipy face, does Shiyu like her? The result just fell. The stairwell door was suddenly pushed open. The rain has appeared again, and as soon as he opened his mouth, he asked him if he had time tonight. Ji-yun refused directly without thinking. Finally got off work. Ji-yu prays with all his heart that he will never meet Shiryu again tomorrow. But I came to the company the next day. The elevator doors just opened. He saw Shiryu and a few male colleagues standing inside. A well-connected male colleague warmly welcomed him in. He turned away without hesitation, as if there was some monster standing behind. Shiryu naturally saw that Ji-yun was hiding from him, and he had no intention of giving up. He volunteered to ask his male colleagues to help create a meeting opportunity. So it's lunchtime. Colleagues asked Ji-yun to have dinner alone. Ji-yun just sat down. I saw Shiryu walking over with a plate. That's it. He had to bite the bullet and sit down. In fact, he has been thinking wildly for the past 2 days. Shiryu always takes the initiative to find him. Maybe it's really interesting for him, even for a moment. He wonders if Shiryu is ready to confess. I didn't expect Shiryu to get straight to the point and talk about work. The company is about to establish a new project team. The research and development direction is a spherical refrigerator, and he is the project owner. The reason why I went to great lengths to ask him out today. I just wanted to invite him to join the project team. Ji-yun was stunned. It started with drinking that night. Later, take the initiative to approach yourself again and again. It's not because I like it at all. I want to poach him for his past job. He quickly adjusted his mood, politely declined the invitation. Because of him now, he is no longer the hot-blooded newcomer of the past. He is afraid of failure. I don't want to take any more risks. The next day, Ji-yun was harassed by manager Gao when he went to work. He asked Ji-yun, looking at the water dispenser project testing process in person, if something goes wrong with the water dispenser again, their whole group will suffer. So the next day, Ji-yun is back and forth between the factory and the laboratory. I didn't drag my tired body back to the company until the evening. Who knows, it's approaching get off work. Colleague Xiaoya suddenly came to ask for leave. Manager Gao didn't even lift his eyelids. Directly dump all the work Xiaoya is responsible for to Ji-yun. Wait until all the work is done. The night is late. When leaving the office, he was surprised to find that Shiryu hadn't left yet. He's staring intently at the computer screen in the light. Under the rolled-up cuffs, arm lines are tight. Blue veins emerge faintly. That moment, Ji-yun was a little dumbfounded. Have to admit, Shiryu is really excellent, smart and capable, strong execution. Such leaders do have convincing capital. Just myself now. It seems that I have no courage to follow in his footsteps. Returning home with mixed emotions, but just got to the door. A man suddenly rushed out and hugged her. Ji-yun was taken aback. Take a closer look. It turned out to be the Autumn of my ex-boyfriend who was missing for 8 months. Autumn seems like nothing has been born, but Ji-yun only has anger in her heart. He ruthlessly left the Autumn things at home. Pack it all and take it out. Then tell him explicitly not to show up again. The next morning, Ji-yun put the report completed last night and water dispenser test results handed over to manager Gao together. Who knew that manager Gao suddenly changed his mind after reading it? He said he thought about it all night. I think it is too hasty to replace the water dispenser accessories. Decided to continue with the original plan. Ji-yun was stunned on the spot. If you continue to use old accessories, the problem cannot be solved at all. Just then, Shiryu appeared. He directly stopped manager Gao. Unceremoniously unceremoniously satirizing the other party. Manager Gao's face was ashen. But there's nothing you can do about him. Then Shiyu chased out and asked Jiyu to meet after get off work. Until then, Shiyu just told the story of the past buried for many years. It turned out that she used to work for Manager Gao back then. At that time, Manager Gao took advantage of his position to receive kickbacks. Shiryu chose to report after discovering it, but due to the lack of key evidence, it didn't work out, and he himself was kicked out of the team for this. Since then, he made up his mind not to participate in the workplace struggle, only talk about grades. And in the end, Shizuyu looks at Ji seriously.
변경하지 않고 종결됐습니다. 정치 대신 일로만 승부 보겠다고.
Why does Shiryu treat himself so well? It turned out that Shiryu knew him a long time ago, since he first joined the company. At that time, Che Jiyun was in high spirits. I once made a lofty statement in front of everyone. I must become the president in the future. In the years that followed, he has seen Jiyun propose excellent entrepreneurship again and again, see the talent and drive in him. But when I saw him again after returning from America, the hard-edged newcomer is gone. Instead of, he's a nice guy who compromises and slurries, he once thought, Jiyun has been smoothed out by the workplace. Until one day, he found Jiyun's notebook. I found it after opening it, and the ideas, are still there. He hasn't changed. Just hide your true self. Looking at the back of Shiryu leaving, Jiyun has not returned to his senses for a long time. He suddenly realized what Shiryu just said. It moved him more than confession. Xiaoya, who came back from leave the next day, turned pale. There is obviously something wrong with the body. Looking at Xiaoya in extremely poor condition, Jiyun took the initiative to apply to Manager Gao for him to leave work early. But Manager Gao not only disagrees, instead, humiliates Xiaoya in public, said she was worthless, come to the company every day to mess around. Jiyun finally couldn't bear it anymore. He scolded Manager Gao for bullying his subordinates in the workplace. Being publicly contradicted, Manager Gao was completely exasperated. To get revenge on Shiryu, Manager Gao asked him to sort it out for 3 years. All competitor research reports. And I went home, wronged, tired and disappointed. Jiwoo even wrote his resignation letter. Just press the send button. But just then, he suddenly saw the notebook that Shiryu returned. See every page next to ideas. It's all filled with Shiyu's comments. At that moment he burst into tears. Your thoughts and efforts are all seen, and be respected and appreciated. This allowed him to find his first job, the self full of dreams. So he deleted his resignation letter. The next day, I came to the company full of energy, straight through the office to Shiryu. Successfully joined the project team.